Burt Lancaster, who starred in Golden Age classics like From Here to Eternity, was a Hollywood actor unlike any other. He didn't get his start in Hollywood until age 33. Prior to this point, he'd been both a circus acrobat and a USO performer in the military. When Burt broke onto the scene in Hollywood, he made a point of doing things his way. He chose to exercise his freedoms both in his business and personal life. In Hollywood, he created his own production company so he could be in charge of his projects. At home, he sexually experimented with various partners of both genders while working through 3 marriages and being a father of 5. He also campaigned against blacklisting. Join Factsverse as Burt Lancaster's biographer reveals his $1 million secret. Burt Lancaster was born November 2, 1913 in East Harlem. Growing up in the Great Depression, Burt's mother was incredibly tough on the young boy, in the hopes that toughening him might allow him to find success in a harsh world. His mother was a large woman, and she wasn't above pinning her son down and beating him if he wasn't acting the way she wanted. While this instilled values in Burt at home, he lashed out as much as possible on the streets. His experiences as a youth on the streets of New York instilled a different type of toughness. His mother insisted her son was destined for better things. In addition to instilling manners in the young boy, she also allegedly taught him about society. Burt became aware of class and race issues during the Great Depression, and these things were on his mind when he ventured into Hollywood and faced blacklisting. From a young age, Burt expressed interest in acrobatics. During his young adulthood, he dropped out of school with his friends and they joined the circus. They began performing an acrobatic routine, eventually becoming moderately successful. But an injury on the job made it so that Burt had to give up the career in his 20s. He excelled at acrobatics despite his height. Burt grew to be 6'2", while most gymnasts are much shorter. His height was a disadvantage in his profession of acrobatics, but an advantage in Hollywood. Before venturing there at the age of 33, he worked for a time as a USO performer. Burt entertained military troops, though it wasn't work he felt very passionately about due to his political beliefs. During this period, someone saw star potential in Burt and offered him a part on Broadway. Feeling unsure about his future, Burt tenuously accepted. He ended up enjoying acting and made his Hollywood debut in 1946, starring in The Killers. Burt Lancaster became instantly successful in Hollywood thanks to his good looks and charisma. He was willing to go places on screen many of his peers weren't, which allowed him to take on roles that exhibited the entire wide range of his talents. The actor found continued success over the 1950s, acting in films such as From Here to Eternity, The Crimson Pirate, and Gunfight at the OK Corral. Another film he starred in during the 50s was Sweet Smell of Success. Unlike many of Burt's other films, the film saw him cast as a rather unlikable and off-putting figure. While audiences at the time didn't much like seeing the star in that light, performances like this are one reason Burt remains such a widely respected actor. He wasn't afraid to show his dark side to the audience in a wide variety of roles. He also turned down roles he felt didn't jibe with his personal beliefs. The actor infamously turned down the lead role in Ben-Hur, which went to Charlton Heston. Burt was allegedly offered $1 million to play the part, but turned it down because he didn't appreciate the film's overt religious themes. For his time, he was certainly an actor who worked against societal norms both on and off the screen. Not only did he choose the strangest roles he could find, but he also practiced alternative behaviors in his personal life even during his 3 marriages. The FBI investigated Burt for nearly 3 decades for his alleged promiscuous bisexuality. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Factsverse for more, and stick around for more about Burt Lancaster. For many decades, rumors have persisted that Burt was bisexual. The star's various wives alleged that he could be seen having affairs with men and women when he was married to them. Although Burt's alleged bisexual tendencies have never been proven, the actor was an incredibly outspoken liberal with plenty of gay friends. One of those friends was fellow star Rock Hudson. The FBI found this information by raiding the house of a notable wealthy socialite who happened to frequent many of the same gay clubs as Rock. Rock was an open homosexual during his time in Hollywood, and he even made history during the 80s when he became one of the first big-name celebrities to die from AIDS. Some speculate Burt Lancaster wasn't actually bisexual, but simply refused to denounce homosexuality out of support for his friends like Rock Hudson. Burt was certainly the picture of masculinity during his physical peak, though he wouldn't have been the only masculine star in Hollywood to be hiding his true sexual orientation. Still, the testimony of Burt's wives alleges that the actor liked to have affairs with men and women. During the final year of Rock Hudson's life, Burt helped his longtime friend out by lending his celebrity to a fundraiser for AIDS victims. Burt always chose to do things his way, whether in Hollywood or in his relationships. He started his own production company and spoke out against the blacklisting of Hollywood communists during the 40s. Burt was also investigated for his alleged ties to the Communist Party of America as a result of his defense of blacklisted actors. But his popularity with audiences proved more powerful than Hollywood's blacklisting practices. Despite being an alleged bisexual swinger, Burt was married 3 times and had 5 children. His first wife was June Ernst, whom he married in 1935 and divorced in 1946, the same year he made his Hollywood debut. Burt and June had actually fallen out well before the 1946 finalization of their divorce, and it was during his time as a USO performer that he met his second wife, Norma Anderson. Norma became pregnant by accident, and Burt's first instinct was to start making plans to get his lover an abortion. When Norma insisted that wasn't an option, they got married. Burt married Norma Anderson in 1946, and their marriage lasted until 1969. Throughout those years, they had 5 children together. All the while, Burt continued allegedly seeking out casual sex partners, male or female. As one might imagine, these tendencies got even worse as Burt became a bigger Hollywood celebrity. He was unfaithful to his wife, and Norma tried to find solace by excessively consuming alcohol. After over 2 decades, it became apparent the relationship would no longer work. He stayed unmarried for over 2 decades after his divorce. But in 1990, Burt married third and final wife Susan Martin, who was with him at the time of his death in 1994. Although Burt remarried, he never had any additional kids. Burt was bound to a wheelchair as a result of a stroke by the time he married third wife Susan Martin, and he spent the final years of his life unable to do much. For the most part, he liked to keep to himself. He didn't have a lot of close friends in Hollywood, with some of his closest being Kirk Douglas and Rock Hudson. Although Burt and Kirk were very good friends, there's one legendary incident where Burt supposedly made Kirk cry during a public appearance. Burt was known to have mood swings, which meant he could lash out and offend people. This supposedly occurred one day while Burt was making a public appearance with fellow actor Kirk Douglas. He was said to have made a remark disparaging Kirk for the fact that the much shorter actor had to wear lifts in his shoes. Burt was 6'2", while Kirk was 5'9". The remark apparently upset Kirk so much the actor began crying. But the incident wasn't enough to cause the two to stop being friends. After Burt's death, Kirk continued talking positively about the actor until his own death in 2020. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you know Burt Lancaster was under investigation from the FBI for his alleged bisexuality? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts First if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.